I had just a lot of fun playing my Vienna horn this week. This is such a nice instrument. This is a Vienna horn made by the Austrian maker Andreas Jungwirth, who I've got one of his natural horns, which I play a lot. So this is the second of the instruments I have from Andreas. And my understanding is that Andreas collaborated with, I think, Wolfgang Tomböck from the Vienna Phil and a number of the top players from Vienna, and that they looked at a whole load of the really excellent instruments by the 19th century makers Demal and Uhlmann in order to come up with this particular design of Vienna horn. It's a lovely instrument to play. Now, just one thing, because I see this coming up a lot. I've seen a lot of instruments that I would describe as Viennese rotary horns, described as Vienna horns. And to my mind, the thing that makes a Vienna horn is the particular design of valves, which I'll talk about in a second. For example, I've got the two Uhlmann instruments I've got with rotary valves. I've seen people describe that design as Vienna horn before, and I think the confusion is that you quite often with these rotary horns you also get these long spindles. But the Vienna valve, here we've got them here going, they are closer to piston valves than the rotary valve that we associate with Austria and Germany. And my understanding is Leopold Ulhmann started putting these on horns in about 1840s. I think they'd been used by a trumpet maker in Leipzig beforehand. But basically what happens is when I press the valve, the key down here, the spindles here, these long rods, push open this double piston here, and thus the air goes on the little deviation along the tuning, these extra slides for each valve. So you've got these each one's got a double piston, and that's how the air gets deviated. There's a lot of things very much associated with the Vienna horn. It's known for its beautiful legatos, its particular timbre. It's often seen as being, despite the fact that the bell is, it's quite narrow here and it's quite a fast flare. I tend to find that because of the way the valves operate, it is a bit more lugubrious. It is a little slower than you'd find on other designer valves. And I also find it quite, they always seem to have a certain degree of resistance, which may be to do with the angles that these pump valves make the air go on these twists and turns. But it's a really super lovely instrument, so it was really nice getting it out. And the piece of music I wanted to play this week, I've actually returned to the work of William Melton, who this is another of his albums of music for horn. This is actually from a album he put together of music for horn and organ, and there's that famous turn of phrase from Berlioz about the horn being a noble and melancholic instrument, and it's quite literal in this piece. It's Schwermut, so melancholy, by the Viennese composer Rudolf Bibl. Bibl was the organist at the Stephansdom, the big cathedral in Vienna, and this is part of a set of 4 works for horn and harmonium or piano that Bibl published in 1888. So I've got my Andreas Jungwirth Vienna horn playing a piece of Viennese music, Melancholy, from 1888 by Rudolf Bibl. Hope you enjoy. If you're enjoying all these videos and general horn geekery, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on all the social medias, and you can keep up to date as I work my way through my collection during the ongoing lockdowns, etc. Enjoy!